Hey friends, it's Miss Bree again. Today we're going to head out to the chicken yard to meet a very special kind of chicken, one that comes from a faraway island with cold weather, strong winds, and long winters. Have you ever wondered how animals survive in places where it gets really cold? Well, today we're learning about the Icelandic chicken, a hardy, historic bird that has adapted to life in tough northern conditions. This isn't just any chicken breed. It's something actually called a landrace, which means it's developed naturally over time in a specific place, shaped by the environment and the people who cared for it. Today, our guide is Isla the Icelandic hen, and she is going to tell us what life is like from her point of view. You ready, Isla? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Bree. I'm an educator, a farmer, an illustrator, a singer, and of course, a proud grammar nerd. Welcome to the farm school. Hello, friends. My name is Isla, and I'm an Icelandic hen. I come from Iceland, a place known for its cold weather, strong winds, and beautiful landscapes. My kind of chicken is very, very special because we didn't just get created by people choosing specific traits. We developed over time as a landrace, which means we adapted naturally to the environment around us. That makes me strong, resourceful, and probably a little bit different from many other chickens you might see on the farms. So let me explain what it means to be a landrace chicken, because that's an important part of my story. Unlike some breeds that were carefully designed to look a certain way, landrace animals like me developed over time through natural selection and practical farming. That means only the chickens that could survive the cold, find food, and raise chicks successfully continued to pass on their traits. And because of this, Icelandic chickens are genetically diverse, which means we don't all look the same. Some of us are different colors, some of us are different sizes, and some of us even have different feather patterns. But we all share the ability to thrive in tough conditions. My story goes back more than 1,000 years. Long ago, Viking settlers brought chickens with them when they traveled to Iceland. Over time, those chickens adapted to the island's harsh conditions. But because Iceland is isolated, those chickens didn't mix much with other breeds. Instead, they developed into what we now call the Icelandic chicken. That means that I am part of a very old and unique population of chickens, shaped by both history and nature. Living in Iceland means learning how to handle the cold. I have thick, dense feathers that help keep me warm, even in cold weather. I'm also good at finding shelter from wind and snow, and I know how to conserve energy when temperatures drop. Because my ancestors survived in such tough conditions, I've inherited strong survival instincts that help me adapt to changing weather. One of the most interesting things about Icelandic chickens is how different we can look from one another. Some of us are black, some are white, some brown, and some of us are beautifully mixed with many different colors. We can have different feather patterns, different comb shapes, and even slightly different sizes. This variety is part of what makes us a landrace. It shows our genetic diversity, which helps to keep us strong as a population. So even though we might not all look the same, we're all part of the same resilient family. I'm also what farmers call a really great forager. That means I'm very good at finding my own food, like seeds, plants, and insects. Instead of depending completely on humans for food, I like to explore, scratch the ground, and hunt for tasty things. I'm also quite independent, which means I don't need as much help as some other chickens. Farmers tend to appreciate this because it makes Icelandic chickens like me a very good fit for sustainable and low-input farming systems. Another thing is, as a hen, one of my important jobs is laying eggs. Icelandic hens are known for being reliable egg layers even in colder weather. We're also known for being broody, which means we like to sit on our eggs and hatch them ourselves. Once the chicks hatch, we take our role as mothers very seriously. We protect our chicks, teach them how to find food, and help them to grow strong. Being a good mother is another important part of keeping our population healthy. Even though we have a long history, Icelandic chickens are still considered rare, especially outside of Iceland. Because we are a landrace, it's very important to preserve our genetic diversity. That means people who raise Icelandic chickens work carefully to maintain the variety and strength of our population. We are not just a breed, we are a living genetic resource. There are people all over who care deeply about protecting chickens like me. They raise Icelandic chickens in small flocks, carefully managed breeding, and all sorts of projects so that our diversity is maintained. And instead of trying to make us all look the same, they celebrate our differences and work to keep our population strong. This kind of conservation helps to ensure that Icelandic chickens will continue into the future. Landrace breeds like mine are especially important. Because we develop naturally, we often have traits that help us adapt to changing environments. This can be very valuable in the future, especially as farmers face new challenges like changing climates. We also represent a piece of history, showing how animals and people work together over time to survive and thrive. Here's some fun facts about my chicken family. We've been around for over 1,000 years, which is a really long time. Our ancestors came from Viking settlers, which makes our history pretty exciting. We are excellent foragers, meaning we love to find our own food. And of course, we are very cold hardy, which helps us to thrive in tough environments. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Now, you know that Icelandic chickens are far more than just farm birds. We are a hardy, diverse, and historic population shaped by nature and time. We remind people that animals can adapt, survive, and thrive in even the toughest of environments. I hope you'll remember my story the next time you see a chicken, and maybe even imagine what it would be like to live on a windy island far to the north. Bye-bye, friends! Thank you, Isla, for sharing your story. Today we learned about Icelandic chickens and how they are a unique landrace population with a long history and incredible adaptability. We also learned why genetic diversity and conservation are so important when it comes to protecting livestock for the future. Animals like Isla remind us that farming is not just about food. It's also about history, resilience, and the relationship between people and animals. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.